Hi, I'm Kirsty Spraggon, corporate motivational speaker, author, talk show host, and truth teller. I have been speaking for over 10 years in the conference world, and I understand as well as you do how important it is to have conferences to bring our communities together, your people together. Now, more than ever, they need us. And so postponing your event and waiting until we can be in person, I believe that we have a deep responsibility to get onto this fast, to pivot and to use online technology and to understand that it can be just as incredible at bringing people together in a completely different and fun way. So I want to share with you, last week I was on a webinar for a client with over 1,000 people, and it was so engaging, so lively with the chat and the interactivity. There were so many things going on. So I want to talk you through how webinars work, why they matter, why now, what we can talk about on them in terms of topics, what you need to look for with the right speaker and host, and the different ways that they can work. So firstly, right now, your people need this more than ever. They can't wait until they can get in a room together. I am talking to people every day who are suffering with anxiety and stress and fear, who literally can't get on a phone without shaking, who are unable to sleep at night. And, if this is your people, I believe we have a responsibility to support them and to help them understand that they are not alone and isolated, even though they may feel like it, especially right now. So going into crisis management, going into looking at calm within chaos, looking at how we can live brave. The other thing is, from an ROI perspective, if you need your people right now to be pivoting, to be thinking creatively, to be giving you an ROI, in a lot of ways that's not going to happen. When their fight or flight and freeze system is activated and fear is, running the show, and anxiety, they're not sleeping, they're not able to be at their best, and their brain literally cannot think creatively. So what matters most when it comes to doing a webinar in a way that makes it really effective for you and for your people? So I have been on camera for over 10 years. Kirsty TV, my online talk show, has 3 million views in 120 countries. What matters is that you have a host, a speaker, a guest that is engaging, that is charismatic and dynamic and flexible. I do everything from drum circles online to breathwork classes, to guided meditations and vision quests, to dance parties. And yes, it's my job to get them engaged enough to want to do that, to get out of their comfort zone. But last week we're on this webinar with over 1,000 people all over the world tuning in. And I have to tell you, the energy, I don't know if it's because they're all stuck at home that they were so grateful to have connection, but the comments in the feed the next day on Facebook and social media of how much they enjoyed it, the comments live, the questions. And so that comes down to another point. You can pre-record if you are wanting to do a video, or you can do it live. Now, live means the speaker can be the host and do all of the work for you, or you can have a host, it could be your CEO or a managing director, who asks some questions. So what I do is I provide you with some questions, and that way you become a part of the conversation. It becomes more of a bouncing back and forth. It's a little bit more engaging and exciting and dynamic. And then there's a little bit more opportunity for free form. And then if the chat is live, then you can also have your people asking questions as we're going through, and we can allow a bit of time to go through those. So pre-recording or going live, there's lots of ways to make it interactive, lots of ways to make it engaging. It's important that you choose the right speaker. I love people like Tim Gard. He's a comedian, Christine Cashin, Jason Hewlett, Michael Hoffman, all hilarious, but with great content. But now more than ever, where you might have got away with it on stage at a live event with a speaker who maybe wasn't as dynamic and engaging, you're not going to get away with that when this is all you have. If you have a talking head and you have somebody who's pretty boring and they don't move and they don't know where to look, or they're looking at the wrong camera on the computer, all of those things are going to affect the quality. If you don't have someone who can pivot, who can think quickly, who can answer questions on their feet, who's stuck in their content and wants to just be linear with their keynote, that is not going to work anymore. So speakers that have a background with humor, that are dynamic on camera, are going to become more important than ever when you're choosing the right person and the right topic for your webinar. So what content are you going to look at for your webinar? I myself as a speaker have shifted all of my topics. I've rewritten them, I've restructured them, because I believe we don't want to be doing what we were doing a week ago. Nobody wants to hear about a legacy keynote right now. They want to hear, how do I deal with my current crisis? How do I make sure my team is inspired and activated, or just okay? How do I make sure that they're getting through this mentally, emotionally, spiritually? And so the topics that I'm offering right now, one of them, the first one, which can be, they can be independent. You can just do one webinar, or I've made them in a way you can build and do 3 or even more. The first one is check yourself before you wreck yourself. This is about checking in with your vitals and looking at all of the stuff around anxiety, fight or flight, what is going on in our physical body, what is going on emotionally, and how do we deal with that? How do we give your people some tools and some techniques and some resources and give them an experience on the live webinar of using some quick breathing techniques, of doing a guided meditation, of doing a dance party or some drumming. We talk about that before, see what's a fit for your people, and then decide how we can make it an experience where they get some resources and tools that they can apply in the moment as well as use in the coming days and weeks. The second one is changing your thoughts. And this really, once we've been able to get ourselves emotionally resilient, get some sleep, then a week or 2 later, you can do the next webinar, and we're looking at making sure we're changing our thoughts. With everything that's going on right now, and particularly with people working in the home, they also need tips and tools and strategies for how they can manage their energy, how they can shift their state, how they can make sure they're moving around, and that they are working on their mindset and what is going on up here. And the third one is, how do we chart our course? Going forwards with creative thinking, with goal setting, with planning, with strategy, how do we climb our mountain and get ourselves to the top? So I, for one, am so excited about the opportunities that going online and hosting online events holds for all of us. It's a whole new world, but it's a beautiful world and it's a beautiful opportunity. So I hope that you will take me up on this idea of going online and doing more webinars if you're not already. If you have any questions and this is new for you, please feel free to reach out and have a chat with me about it. Have an amazing day.